it's Valerie of Val Reads and welcome to another video. Today's video isn't really going to be like all of my other videos, which are pretty heavily chopped up and put back together again. I just sort of wanted to have a off-the-dome conversation about being too picky or critical for Booktube, because I found that it's something that's hindering my channel a little bit and hindering my opinions and just my enjoyment of books in general. I feel like it's a little bit alienating to be extremely critical of the books that you read here, because I feel like a lot of people just read and love everything that they read. You know, when I am planning to read a book, or if a book is on my TBR, I will look at Goodreads and see what other people have rated them, and if it's mostly 4 stars and 5 stars, I think, okay, I'm gonna love this too, obviously, I'm gonna read it soon. And then when it turns out that I read it and I think it's a mediocre book, you know, it's alienating and it's frustrating, and I feel like it's a big waste of time, and I almost blame myself for being so picky in particular, and I think, oh, I just must not be a good reader. I must have missed out on something in this book. I must just not like reading, maybe. Maybe I'm just a bad reader and actually hate books. I don't know. But I've always been very particular about the media that I consume. When I was a kid, I was really picky with food, and now I'm picky with movies and TV and music and books. Oh, I'm holding a plant. I was watering it earlier and wiping off the dust on its leaves, so I'm gonna continue doing that because I'm sure this is very interesting to watch. So I've always been very critical, and I'm trying not to be so judgmental. I'm trying to adopt this sort of attitude of being critical but kind, but my pickiness is still there. There are just so many topics out there that don't interest me at all, but there's some people that are interested in everything and they love reading about all these different things, and here I am sitting here like, oh, I like reading about rich, white, eccentric women who live in haunted houses. You know, like, that's sort of my thing. I like reading about mental illness. I like reading about dysfunctional families, and it's nice to have a niche, but it's difficult when you feel like you're running out of books to read because you've read all these books about dysfunctional women and you're just sort of hitting a wall. I think I peaked in 2015 when I really started getting into reading and getting into Booktube. I read all of the books that I was really excited about, and now I don't nearly feel that excitement for some books that are out there, and I just I just don't know if I'm a good reader or not, or if I'm just overdoing it. Maybe I just need to read less, even though I'm not even that much of a voracious reader anyway, but I just feel almost burnt out because so many books that I've read this year have just been okay. And I feel like I'm being way too critical, or my expectations are way too high, and I think that definitely stems from Booktube, watching people's reviews and thinking, oh, they love this, so I must love it, and I keep forgetting, wait, Val, you're really picky, you're probably not gonna like this. So it's difficult, and it's a bit of a burden sometimes when people are asking you like, oh, let me know how you like that, because that's one of my favorite books. And that's why buddy reading, another plant, and that's why buddy reading terrifies me, because I know that it's like a 90% chance that I'm just not gonna get along with a book, or I'm not gonna be amazed by it, and I'm afraid of telling someone who's really enjoying a book that I'm not liking it, because I don't want to be a negative, mean person. That's not my goal in life. I want to be honest, and I do want to be critical about the things I read, because I don't want to be like a blind sheep person. I have high expectations for the things I read. I want to enjoy everything that I read, so when I don't, I feel bad and I feel angry, but the anger sometimes comes out in my reviews, and I hope it doesn't make people feel bad, but it's tough sometimes. So I think at this point I just need to start reading for me a bit more, maybe not paying attention to everyone else's reviews, because everyone has different opinions on things. So now I'm just sitting around reading books, hoping that I'll fall in love with them, and you know, at the 20 or 30 or 50 page mark, I already know whether or not I'm gonna love them or not. And so when I'm reading a book and I hit that point and I'm not liking it that much, it just feels so defeating. I feel so defeated and just done with reading. And there are so many books that I felt that way about recently, and I feel bad. But what do I do? What do I do? So I don't know where I'm going with this conversation. I kind of feel like I have like a question to ask. So how do you feel about being critical? Do you genuinely enjoy every book that you read? What about DNFing books? Do you give up on books that like you aren't enjoying after 30 pages or so? Or yeah, what do you look for in a book? What makes a book a 4-star, 5-star book for you? What makes a 3-star book for you? Because for me, like a decent character here or there, or an interesting plot or premise doesn't cut it for me. I need everything to align perfectly. I need the book to be good from page 1 to page whatever, for it even to come close to a 4 or 5-star rating. So that's why it's really difficult for me to sometimes make review videos when I've only read 3-star books, because 3-star books, they don't fire me up enough to give them like a good rant session, and I can't rave about them either. So what do I say about okay books? I don't know. So let me know your opinions on being picky and maybe running out of books to read. Do you have these issues as well, or are you guys actual good readers unlike me and you're excited about every book that comes out? Do you have any words of encouragement or advice for someone who's feeling critical and feeling like they're hitting a wall with reading? Because I'd really appreciate it if you had some words of wisdom for me. But I think that's the end of my little weird chat. Let me know if you enjoyed this sort of video of me touching plants. Maybe this is sort of like an ASMR type feeling too. So let me know in the comments down below. I would love to have some constructive and interesting conversations with you guys there. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye!